You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Welcome to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy Williams, here with another astro update for this week. How is everyone doing? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I hope you are staying calm and focused. There's a lot of distractions happening right now, and we don't have to put out all the fires. So, a lot of forward movement and momentum happening this week in the cosmos. Let's go ahead and get right into all of that. Monday, January 27th, Mercury entered the sign of Aquarius. Mercury represents the mind and our thought process and how we communicate, how we do business. So when Mercury switches signs, we are entering a change of focus. So when Mercury was in Capricorn, we were mainly concerned with the process of getting something to be efficient, getting our ducks in a row, building the system, ensuring the system works. But when Mercury moves into Aquarius, we get to see what can go beyond the material realm. We could be wanting to take something to a higher level. Aquarius is the energy of the collective and how we show up in our uniqueness. Aquarius is all about social welfare and cosmic out of this world experiences, technology, social media, things like that. A lot of science and math energy, a lot of experimentation energy with Aquarius. So we could be wanting to implement that in some type of way, experiment with some type of new energy. We've already figured out how to be successful with something, and now we're being called to share our pursuits or endeavors with the collective or other people. And that is what Aquarius energy is about. It likes to show us the future of things. It's very future focused. So showing us the future of our pursuits. Something that started out one way could be wanting to change or pivot or evolve into a higher dimension, or just taking something, just dialing something up to the next level. We want to take something to the next level. That Aquarius energy does speak and provide clarity through visions, epiphanies, and downloads. So there could be downloads about new things that want to come in. And this could be the way that you parent, if you're a teacher, the way you want to do your classroom. This could be if you have a small group or a business, your aesthetic, your health routine, just something new wants to be introduced, something that just wants to be a little out of the box. And so Aquarius does provide these downloads of new things to come. Some of these pursuits can feel so out of the box or even out of this world that we could be wondering, okay, how the hell is this going to happen? Maybe I'm not being realistic, or maybe I'm tripping, I'm imagining something. But actually, we are being given a vision from a higher dimension, a higher power of what this thing could be. And by the way, when we hit this Aquarius energy after we pass the material realm, this is the part where the how is none of our business, because God, Spirit, the universe is collaborating with us. It has our back. Telling us that when we build it, I will bring them to you. So we don't have to worry about somebody else's funnel or process. You already have been called to pursue this thing, and stuff will start unfolding for you. That is what we are. That is the stage we are in right now. Um, God wants us to show people the real us and not the heavily rehearsed or performed version of us, not the mask. Who are you really? Show your authentic face, have your authentic voice on something, because God is saying, Spirit is saying, the universe is saying, I call you, not who you think you need to be to attract others to the light. You are the light. What if we all believed at this point in our journeys that we can't mess this thing up? Because the purpose is beyond us. No one else can mess this up for us because the purpose is beyond the material realm and the humanly touch. And so I just want to invite someone today. Hello, somebody. I just want to invite someone today to stay encouraged and stay hopeful. And that big message that's landed in your mind in the middle of the night on your heart is by design. And of course, this could just be me being extra. I could be taking it to, a whole nother level. So I mean, this could be something as simple as somebody experimenting with a new look. You want to try a new hairstyle, or you might want to try a new coffee drink at your favorite coffee shop. You might be tired of the latte. Maybe you want to do matcha. It don't even have to be that deep. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. But just know that we are wanting to experiment and try something new around this season. January 28th, Venus entered her pre retrograde shadow period. So Venus is preparing to go retrograde March 1st, and Venus is our planet of beauty and art and money and relationships with women and the things that we take pleasure in, how we like to get money, how we like to collaborate, what we find fair and just in the world, because Venus represents justice as well. And she retrogrades in the same spot every 8 years. So she's about to enter another cycle where she retrogrades in the sign of Aries like she did 8 years ago in 2017. So we want to think back to what was happening around 2017 in terms of friendships, relationships with other women, business partners, money. What was happening in the terms or realms of justice and equality, and what changed. We also want to think about what is kind of coming back around, a certain theme that is showing up in our lives again, and what needs to be eliminated or revised. Because every time a planet goes retrograde, this is a moment where we are trying to review something to see what we can do over or eliminate. And so we also want to think about, in terms of what happened in 2017, what was our responses to those things that were happening back then, and how do we perceive that our responses have evolved? Like, if that happened again, or if it is happening again, how has our response evolved in a certain situation? Because that 2017 is not that 2025 you. So what changed? It's really good to look back to see where you are now and where you're going, because something similar may be getting ready to happen again in those areas: money, friendships, people who you collaborate with, business partners, something, where you work. Do you want to work there? Crazy, horrible bosses, some type of something. Power dynamics and ego tensions with women. That's a one of the main things that Venus in Aries represents, just a lot of competitive energy and stuff like that. So it could be something different but similar, or this could be part two of something that happened in 2017, just coming back around. And then today, early this morning, we entered our new moon in Aquarius. So the sun and the moon came together at about 8:30 a.m. Central Time at 10 degrees of Aquarius. Well, it was like 9 degrees and some change, but we rounded up to 10. And most of us know the spiel by now, what a new moon is. A new moon is a dark moon where the sun and the moon come together to begin a new cycle. And this signifies a time where we come into quiet to plant the seed and to conceive what we feel called to bring through us in the physical realm. This will be taking place wherever you have Aquarius in your birth chart. If you have it in your home life, something's happening at home with family and privacy. If you have it in relationships, there's going to be something that you are realizing, new intentions that are going to regard to relationships. Same thing in the 10th house, where work and reputation, if there's something unfolding and seeds are being planted there. For all my Aquarius risings, you are having a lot of changes happening right now in terms to your body and your identity and how you see yourself and how you see the world and how you want the world to see you. So there's a lot of things happening in that Aquarius part of our lives as well as other parts, but we're talking about the Aquarius full moon right now. So stillness is necessary when we have a new moon, and the stillness is necessary because as we plant these seeds, we want to be able to receive clarity on what wants to evolve and what wants to change in our plans, clarity on how to make something more authentic and aligned. And if the message feels fuzzy, if we feel like our brains are all over the place, which with Mercury and Aquarius, I could see how that is. It's a lot of energy. That's a good indication that it's time to disconnect. It's time to log off of social media. It's time to turn the news off as much as you can. It's time to take a break or a step back from the external world and go within, even if it's for 10 minutes, even if it's in the shower. I tend to receive a lot of downloads in the shower when the water is touching my skin and activating, or I feel like connecting me to nature in a certain type of way, or just my emotional space. So we want to disconnect so we can hear those cosmic messages. When Mercury came into Aquarius the other day, it immediately made a conjunction to Pluto that's in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And now that it's separating, we are still receiving messages from deep seated places within us, showing us where we've been and how we may have dealt with things that disempowered us and made us afraid to show up in the past and really step into our calling. And we are also seeing how we've transformed and how we are still transforming those fears into power so that we may show up authentically and confidently. Sometimes that Pluto energy, especially in Aquarius, is so painful that it will put you in a space where you may feel like you want to detach from people. I don't trust nobody. I'm going at it alone. It's me against the world. Nobody gets me, and I'm sick of it. But here's the thing, we were never meant to go it alone. We are not meant to be lone wolves. We thrive in community. We just need to find our tribe. And that is also a signification of that Aquarius energy. It's about how I show up as the real me, the real version of me, so that I actually like the people that I'm attracting and those people actually like me instead of my mask. And many of us are beginning to realize that we don't have to show up different. We don't have to dim our light or do what somebody else is doing. We just have to get in where we fit in with our tribe who accepts us just the way we are. And we are meant to reach those who want to receive us, who see us, and who understand us. And that won't be everyone, because you're not for everyone. Everyone is not for you, and that is okay. But we can no longer straddle this fence or show up in a mask to please all the masses and everyone, because we're no longer able to feel comfortable or even sane in that space. Thursday, January 30th, Uranus, the modern ruler of the sign of Aquarius, stations direct, and it's in the sign of Taurus. So, Uranus is the planet that wants to liberate us to live life on our own terms versus the norm or the status quo, or what grandmom and them wanted you to do, or go to the school and be what your parents wanted you to be. That is Uranus busting us out of any of those things, any of those comfort zones. And so we want to think about what was going on when Uranus first stationed retrograde last September, September 2024. We were encountering perhaps some setbacks, or were you encountering any setbacks where you could have been hesitant to step out of your comfort zone? And when Uranus stationed retrograde in September, something was stopped dead in its tracks. There was money or other forms of security that may have felt extremely unstable. We may have felt like the rug had been pulled from under our feet back then, and that was by design, because Uranus wanted to shake us out of some kind of stagnation, some kind of comfort zone, playing it safe, or following somebody else's funnel or somebody else's plan. You're in somebody else's course that was completely out of alignment with your own. And so now that Uranus is about to station or has stationed direct, it's showtime. It's time to do something. It's time to make some things happen and some things shake. So a direct Uranus is has liberated us from playing it small or scared, and now is providing us what we need to move forward. So we may at this time see some new things happening. We may encounter some sudden opportunities. If this is in your 10th house, you could be coming up against just an out of the blue call that says, "Hey, we want to give you a second or third interview. Maybe you got the job. Would you like to start?" You'll see some things like that maybe happening, and it's because you decided to really step out and be your authentic self. So there's going to be more forward movement for a lot of us in terms of money and physical security and financial stability. And still some things that we may feel like we need to take a chance or a risk on, but sometimes on the other side of fear is where all your dreams are, like they're waiting for you. So just take that if it resonates. I do see big dreams though coming true for us this year, especially towards the summer. A lot of good things I feel like is happening for people. Also, January 30th, we have the Sun in Aquarius trining Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So this is a point in that Jupiter cycle that signifies Jupiter is getting ready to station direct, and that's going to happen next week. This is also giving us the green light to do something new with these new downloads we've been receiving, these ideas and opportunities. As Jupiter prepares to station direct next week, something will start to move forward in that area of your life, that Gemini area, that Aquarius area, from some sort of slowdown that happened last October. So there was probably some other type of slowdown that we encountered last year, that we feel like, man, I can't win for losing. But there's some forward movement that's about to happen for us. And so there could be multiple ideas on the table about something. This is a really good day to do business planning, not necessarily executing certain business things. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is a really optimistic and high vibe conversational day on Thursday. And finally, February 1st, our last trend that I want to talk about, Venus is going to conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces at 28 degrees. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. She's very divine and romantic and feminine and creative and dreamy. Neptune is home in Pisces. This is the modern day ruler of Pisces. So, Neptune is all about the spiritual and compassion. It's the higher octave of Venus. If Venus is brotherly and sisterly love, Neptune is cosmic love and unconditional love. So, this is that Disney type of love with them two getting together. Like, this is really magical. I feel like this week, or perhaps this weekend, is going to feel really pleasant and sweet, especially if you're taking that advice from earlier and disconnecting and giving yourself some distance from all of the craziness on the media, not following all the stories, for a real magical experience. Definitely a dialed up uh, swing in creativity, and the ideas could just be booming. We're in Aquarius energy, so that is also cosmic downloads and just like drop ins in the mind, like, oh my God, this is epic. Venus and Neptune are both conjunct the North Node, so we're talking about our future. We are we're in future self vibes. We can see and encounter some fated connections with others, opportunities for forward movement. So this is a third breadcrumb to say, hey, things are going to start moving forward. This is a wonderful transit for creativity and really manifesting our future self ideas and endeavors, those dreams. You ever, when you were a kid, did you ever like imagine yourself as something, and you saw yourself and you was like, hey, when I get bigger, I'm going to be this? A lot of us think that, like, oh, those are little kids just dreaming, but I feel like that is God, the universe. That's just your cosmic downloads happening, letting you know what your purpose is at a very young age. Children are very tapped into the spiritual world and our greatest teachers. So listen to those kids because they know some things. So yeah, wonderful transit for manifesting. Somebody can meet a new boo. You can meet, you could have a romantic connection with somebody, and it's just like, wow, this person really gets me. Also with business partners, you could really meet people that they just seem like they really get it. Like, you could be just coming in contact with people who really get it. But a word of caution, because Pisces energy and Neptune energy tends to blur the lines on reality. This is the spiritual realm. This is what dreams may come true, all the dreams that I daydream, right? And so while that is magical, we do tend to romanticize things and opportunities and people. We tend to see things through rose-colored glasses. So, if you meet somebody, I mean, maybe not marry them in Vegas the next day. Don't maybe don't go to Vegas on Sunday and say I do. Um, we want to avoid jumping in anything too quick. Any contractual decisions should be scrutinized for deception, because that Neptune energy does have a little deceptive quality to it. Remember, things are not as they appear. So we want to have a lot of discernment and perhaps postpone making a contractual, a legal, and binding agreement until Monday, when this transit gets a little space, because what is for you won't miss you. You can't mess nothing up. So you don't have to participate in the FOMO or sign on the dotted line today, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on the best opportunity of your life. That's probably a scam. So, a quick recap: it's showtime. It's time to take something to the next level, dial it up a bit, put your own sauce, your own seasoning on that thing, give it to the world, show it to the world. What your purpose is has been designed to put on a stage for somebody else, so you can do this. But the steps are inside of you and not out in someone else's brain and someone else's funnel and someone else's plan or even advice, even this podcast. If this don't resonate with you, girl, throw it in the back of your mind because your soul knows the way. So get quiet so that you may hear the next steps. Be authentically you. Step out in your own voice. Feel all the feelings. But also be extremely careful and scrutinizing of entering in any legal agreements or contracts because remember, what's for you won't miss you. You don't have to rush. That is all I have for this week. I just want to remind you I am still doing year ahead presentations. It's not too late. If you are feeling some energies like and you're like, man, I want to know what's going on because May gonna feel a little crazy, March gonna feel a little crazy, April gonna feel a little crazy. So if you want a general birth chart reading, I typically do those if you've never had one before I do a presentation, but I am offering these voiceover presentations for the year ahead astrology. I'll leave the links in my show notes. Remember, if you book with me, you must have a birth time. I don't rectify charts at this time in my career, but coming soon to a booking page near you. So have a birth time, please. And I look forward to speaking to you next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.